this crowd. This is great. We have a different kind of setup tonight. We have a Q&A before the film. So a little, fun conversation. So please get a huge Beyond Fest welcome to our moderator, Graham Skipper. Filmmaker, Ryuhei Kitamura.
All right, who wants to die? All right, I like it. All right. Sorry, I missed. I made a sniper movie, years ago, and I'm not good at sniper. Thank you so much for coming out at late night. Thank you so much for all the support. Thank you.
All right, everybody, welcome to fucking Godzilla Final Wars. How psyched are you for this? Quick show of hands, who here is seeing Godzilla Final Wars for the first time tonight? First up, you all are in for a fucking treat. This is gonna be a blast. So Ryuhei,
Yes.
so 2000 Versus comes out. Small, contained, indie, action horror. And then a few years later, you're offered Godzilla, the 50th anniversary. It was gonna be the last one. Like, that's total cinematic whiplash. Like, can you talk about that moment in your life?
Yes, when I made this movie, I was offered to do this movie 22 years ago, right after the opening day of this samurai movie I did for Toho called Azumi. And they said, are you interested in doing Godzilla? So I started meeting the producer Tomiyama and started talking, but 22 years ago, it was very different. Godzilla franchise was dying, and they decided to put him into long sleep. I never believed that it's going to be the final, but that's what they said. So I think Toho Studio and the producers were, they didn't really fucking care because the franchise was dying. So one last big fireworks. Let this crazy young director do whatever he wants to do. I asked them again and again. Are you really sure? You know who I am. You know what kind of director I am. And are you really fucking sure about that? And they said, yeah. It's okay. So, all right. So, and they asked me, are you interested in getting up on the ring called Godzilla? So I said, well, if I get in the ring, there's no rule. It's going to be the street fight MMA. That's what I'm going to do. And they said it's okay. So that's what I did.
Thank God for that. You talked about MMA, the sort of kinetic action style of this. Can you talk about your approach to the monster battles? There are a lot of monster battles in this movie, spoiler alert. And I'm curious about how, as an action director, you couple the idea of these people battling and doing actual martial arts with their characters as monsters. Like, what was your approach to melding those things together?
Because I knew that this was going to be the last Godzilla for a while, and it's going to be the biggest, Godzilla movie, and they gave me the freedom to do, basically, bring in this new energy, new pace, new take on it. So the first thing I told them was like, I really want, the battlefield is planet Earth and Godzilla versus every monster. So the very original title was Godzilla versus 14. Probably because I'm the director versus, so. Then, I don't know at what point they decided the title to be the Godzilla Final Wars, but it made perfect sense to me because the script we were working on, it was battlefield, it was the entire Earth, and it's basically about Godzilla versus all the monsters, and Captain Gordon, Don't Fry, and his mutant buddies kicking asses of these exilians, aliens. So I basically wanted to Everybody fights everybody and destroy everything. Including Godzilla franchise for a while. Because it needed to end big to do the reboot, which I really appreciate. You know, without the legendary reboot, you know, the MonsterVerse, you know, I don't think there was, you know, Godzilla -1, you know, because really the legendary reboot, you know, resurrect the Godzilla franchise. You know, so that time, but we decided, even the Toko decided, we're just gonna end big. So that's what I wanted to do. So I started talking with the suit actor and with Wakasa-san, who designed the Godzilla suits and the monster suits, that, you know, I really want to do this, you know, really real fight. And how can we do that? Because in the suit they were using, it's too heavy to, you know, even move one step. So they had to redesign and make it, you know, possible to do all kinds of action. So, and I created like insane amount of storyboard, because the year before I worked on this video game called Metal Gear Solid, the PlayStation. So I formed a bunch of storyboard artists, and we did all those like 4 hours of cutscene for the game. And they were so good, so I hired them again, and we just created this all kinds of, you know, crazy storyboard, so that I can give to this, you know, the Monster Park director, you know, Asada-san. So it was like from the beginning, I knew exactly what I want, which is this crazy battle royale of all the monsters, and amazing team made it happen.
You obviously, there is a lot of DNA shared with the Showa era of Godzilla films, and you know, you said in the past how much you love those Showa films, and I'm curious, what is it about the Showa era of Godzilla that you love, and what was your experience with Godzilla like growing up?
My favorite is Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. And the beauty about the Godzilla is, you know, you can go, you know, yes, the original movie is a very serious movie, right? And you can go all different kind of, you know, direction in this only 70 years of history. So, but what I grew up was watching the movie, like I think it was my very first experience was Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, and that's, you know, brought me into the world, and then I started watching, you know, all other Showa era Godzilla movies, and I just felt that Godzilla franchise was losing that kind of energy when I, you know, took this job. So I just wanted to bring back this just pure fun roller coaster, you know, just fun movie. You know, adrenaline rush kind of movie. That's what I wanted to make.
And you did. So I want to talk about the music. Fucking Keith Emerson did the score for this film. Talk about getting Keith Emerson involved.
I was a huge fan of 70s prog rock, so Emerson Lake and Palmer was my thing. So I was in Japan, I bought all the albums, then I bought all the bootlegs, and when Emerson, Lake and Palmer reunited back in 1992, the first time they came to Japan, I went to like every single concert in Japan. That's how hardcore I was. So when I was thinking about, you know, who's going to be who's the perfect guy to do the music, it was very natural to me, Keith Emerson. Then of course the producer and everybody said like, that's impossible. So I'm like, what are you talking about? This is Godzilla, this is 50th anniversary Godzilla, this is the final Godzilla. Let me talk to him. So yeah, I sent him this, you know, love letter, and he agreed to meet me, and I met him first time. It was my dream come true moment to first time meet my idol, my hero, Keith Emerson, at his studio in Santa Monica. So he already composed the music for me and he played it for me. But it was like a very sweet piano piece he played. So the first time I met the legend, Keith Emerson, and I've been his hardcore fan, biggest fan for like 20 years, right? And after the first time I met him, in 5 minutes, I said, Keith, this is not what I'm looking for. Well, you're not old, you know, yet. So, you know, I don't want you to get old. I want focus. I want to brain salvage surgery. You know, I want more like, you know, prog rock. And then he came up with this. I think the first one he came up was this Earth Defense Force music. When they start to fight this giant shrimp in the middle of the movie, you hear that. that super cool rock music. And this is what I'm talking about. So we became very good friends. So it was really a dream to work with him.
It was incredible. So I'm curious about, you are a master of both the big, like we're about to see tonight, and also the indie horror action space. And it's rare to see a director that's able to bridge, both of those scales so deftly. And so I'm curious if you can talk a little bit about the filmmaking process for you of what carries over from your indie work to the big stuff and vice versa.
Nothing really changes that much. I started making movie with my friends I'm from this funky town in Japan called Osaka, which is the western part. It's a very crazy town, and yeah, I was always carrying high-end video. So when I'm hanging out in my house, just two people, I start to shoot you, and you shoot me with the camera to shoot the two of us. And I was making all kinds of crazy short movies. And then when I was 28, I made this crazy movie called Versus.
Oh, we have some Versus fans with us.
Yeah, so it's that time, again, it was a different time. 25 years ago in Japan, nobody believed that the Japanese can make action movie. That's what every single producer studio told me. We are not Hong Kong, we don't have action stars, and we're not Hollywood, we don't have money, so we don't do this. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? We were the one made Lady Snowplow, Baby Cart, Seven Samurai. We were supposed to be the top runner of action movies, and you guys don't say that we can't do it, and I don't believe in that. So I made that movie Versus independently. So that spirit, and luckily the Toho and the producer Tomiyama believed in me, so they allowed me to bring my crew, like my DP and my editor and everybody to do the work of the GODZILLA Final Wars. Normally, if this is a Toho movie, you have to work with the DP from Toho Studio. So everybody in Japan was surprised that it's just unbelievable that Toho lets you do that. But yeah, so I don't know if they were just desperate and didn't care, or they believed in me, but they gave me the freedom. So yeah, I had the same, this creative spirit, the fire I could bring on to this movie.
Well, let that be a word to all the studios out there. Just let the filmmakers fucking make the movie they want to make. So we have to wrap this up soon so that we can get on to this amazing movie. But I wanted to ask you, you just mentioned this, and it's really important to me as a film lover and a filmmaker, is that sense of just go out and make your movie, go out and do it. So I'm curious if you have any sort of advice or words of wisdom, or just from your experience of, somebody that wants to go out and make their Versus and make their movie that they just want to make. What do you say to them?
You just have to, it's all about, to me, it's all about how to keep your, fire alive. Because in the real life, like you said, producer studio, then they don't give you a chance, and everybody says well, it's hard, we can't get the money, we can't get finance, we can't get that star attached. And when I was doing the Versus, it was same in Japan 25 years ago. So I wrote the script of Versus. I went to seriously 150, every single producer, director, TV company, big studio. Everybody ignored me. So I felt like I'm probably invisible, I'm not fucking invisible. So, but it didn't, put my fire out. So I said okay, if nobody gonna believe in me, then, I'm gonna believe in myself. And I have, I have a few people believing in me, my wife believed in me. My wife was feeding me back then. She says, yeah, thank you. So, my wife was feeding me, and my best friend were giving me money. And when I said, hey, I have to make this movie, a lot of my friends gave me money. Not rich people, 5,000 here, 10,000 here, and it's a lot of money to ask your friend, but it's a tiny, tiny budget. But I just knew that, I took very serious that, who believed in me when I was nobody, who's willing to help me out, who's willing to give me the money, who's willing to be the part of the movie. I took it very serious, so, and that movie changed my life. So now, 25 years later, it's much easier to make a movie. If you have your iPhone, you can make a movie. Just shoot whatever you want and edit on the iMovie and but it's just all about what do you want to do and keep your vision alive and keep your fire alive, because in real life it's tough out there. A lot of wind and rain and storm gonna hit you, and still I mean, we all suffered 2 years ago with the strike. We thought we all gonna die. But somehow we made it, and so it's all about keep yourself alive, keep your fire alive, and just instead of complaining, instead of like, oh, I don't have time to do that, I don't have money to do that, just shut the fuck up and get the fuck out and do something.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ryuhei Kitamura. Everybody, you fucking make it loud. We're gonna take a picture with all of you right now. Thank you all!
We already said it, but please play it loud. I mean, fucking loud. We can rock the house. Enjoy your life. Thank you so much.